Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker. Look here, back with this story about, what a person's life is worth, y'all. What is your life worth? I want you to really understand and think about what your life is worth and how you come to that calculation, because it's important. It'll help you determine, how you conduct your life. This story, it is a tragic one, but it's one worth listening to. I'm letting you know that. But let's get back to it. I'm not going to even delay. Charlie's back at another institution with Randy, and they're kicking it and just catching up on old times. They've been separated for a couple of years now, and both of them, are understanding that life has changed, especially Charlie. And he's explaining to Randy because Randy wants him to get out from under this nonsense, and Charlie's all in. He's all in. He really believes that the gang life is not as bad as a lot of people have made it out to be, because you got to keep in mind, Charlie moved up pretty fast. So, that normal route, that routine that most people would have to follow to become elevated in organizations, he didn't have to experience a lot of that. So he didn't see the grimy, gritty, ugly side of it the way you would think. Yeah, he had his share of putting in work, but he never had to deal with knife play up close and personal. He never had to deal with somebody in the organization, side by side with him getting hit with a pocket knife and them not making it. He has those stories to tell. He was a part of the leadership, but he wasn't on the battlefield. His fame came because people gravitated towards him. Automatically, he had that charisma. It's a lot of brothers. Let me tell you something. It's a lot of brothers that belong to various different gangs that have never put in no real work. Never. They talk that talk, but they've never put in no real work. I'm talking about gritty, grimy, and let me clarify that. I want you to understand ain't nothing glamorous about this. But when I say real work, I'm talking about gritty, grimy work that you attribute to what gangs do. I'm talking about stabbing and killing. Fighting to the death almost. I'm talking about gritty, grimy, really scrapping for your life versus another person's life. He never experienced that, and most people in organizations, whichever one you want to name, they've never been in that either. They've never been in that. Very few people that are part of organizations actually are real monsters. Let's say that. I'm talking about will go at the drop of a dime. They are about that life. But see, what happens in organizations, you have this two types of people that move up. You have Charlie's type that are smart, move up real quick. Wait, I'm going to say three. You have the type that's Charlie that's smart, move up real quick. Then you have that monster that knows how to manipulate, and he'll put in work, and everybody knows he ain't taking no shorts. He moves up quick. And then you have a combination of. You have a combination of those two, smart and the killer. You understand? Charlie was just smart, and he had that charisma where people liked him, and he moved up. And that's how he elevated in the game. That's how he elevated in the game. And I want you to understand something. Didn't make him weak, because he would fight. But see, when you don't have that baseline of that gritty, that grimy part of the lifestyle that you choose to lead now, your view of it, your perception of it is not complete. It's not complete. I'm talking about you gotta know what this is really about, and then you'll start to make decisions based on that. But he didn't have that, so when he would talk to other people about organizations and stuff, he would talk to them in a way that made you think, dang, this is all right. This is okay. But it wasn't. Now, he had his little skirmishes, but that's not what I'm talking about, y'all. When I tell you that lifestyle is gritty and grimy, man, look here, I'm telling you from experience. I'm telling you that it's not a game. See, a lot of people in life, not just gangs, a lot of people in life, those of you, I'm talking directly to those of you on the streets now that say you about that life. See, most of us have this perception when we get ready to go do something that everything is going to turn out all right. But how many people do you know that stick up kids that said, I'll be back later. I'm finna go do A, B, and C. How many of them do you know that went and did that and then didn't make it back because they got their brains knocked out? How many do you know like that? How many people do you know that decided that I'm finna go sell these drugs, I'm finna get ready to go do all of these things, but then I'll be back later on, and then they didn't come back because the police was waiting on them? See, we have this understanding that when we get ready to go do something, that we're going to be back later. Now, you don't always succeed at whatever it is that you're trying to do. And see, Charlie, he had that mindset that it's going to be okay. Everything is going to work out. When he says this is what it's going to be. But he's about to learn. He's about to learn that a person's jealousy extends far. You don't have to be at the same institution. When somebody doesn't like you, that rage, that hatred, that feeling that they have about you, anytime your name comes up, anytime that they think about you, it rears up. And they want to reach out and touch you. They want to show everybody that you ain't the person that they think you are. And that's what happened. See, this other guy at this other institution, he did everything he could to try to undermine Charlie from afar. He did everything he could to undermine Charlie from afar. And let me tell you something. When you're dealing with organizations, you're dealing with people that already have a propensity to not trust, it's easy to do, y'all. It's easy to do. You find somebody that's always suspicious of everything, start dropping some lies on them, and they're going to drink it like Kool-Aid. They're going to eat it like they're eating Captain Crunch, man. I'm telling you now. It's easy to trick somebody that already has that foundation of don't trust nothing. It's easy to trick somebody that has this thing in their mind where everybody's suspicious about something. It's easy to get somebody like that. And that's what you have. Most people that are in organizations, y'all, they don't trust. They don't trust. They're suspicious about everything. All you got to do is throw a little bit of truth mixed with a lie, and they gone. And that's how it works. But see, those people that elevate in organizations like that, they realize that. And see, this other guy that Charlie is not even aware of, that really just can't stand him, he's that dude. He knows the type of people that he's dealing with. He knows what's up with them. He knows how to manipulate them. He knows how to move the chess pieces, y'all. He's playing poker when Charlie's still playing spades. Listen to me now. So what happens is this. This guy, he's starting to move up, not to the position of just having a compound. You feel me now? See, when you're dealing with organizations, y'all, you got people that are in charge of individual compounds, but then above them you have people that are in charge of the whole penitentiary. And now this brother here is finna become a part of the leadership, where he's not just being asked to make decisions about the prison that he's at. He's going to be in a position to make decisions about all the prisons and the people at those prisons and be able to tell people what to do and what they can't do. You understand what I'm saying? And one of those individuals that he's going to be over is Charlie. Now imagine that. Imagine that, y'all. You got somebody that you don't even know that don't like you that's finna be in charge of you. Gonna be your boss, so to speak. I know all of y'all experience that. You probably work for somebody that don't like you, but you got to deal with them. You probably got people in your life that you don't like, but you got to deal with them. Imagine doing that if you don't know that they don't like you. You're suspicious, but you don't know, right? But you always find yourself on the short end of the stick, and they're the ones that made the decision, right? How long would it take you to figure out that this person don't like me? Because it didn't take Charlie long to figure it out. Order after order came down, telling him he could do this, telling him he couldn't do that. When certain things would go down and Charlie would make a decision about something and he'd pass it up to the top, this brother would shoot it back down and say, no, that's not how we do. He started to question everything that Charlie did and said. He started to undermine him to the body. He started to undermine him to the point to where, see, the people in organizations, they look to the leadership like they are gods. They look to that leadership like they know everything and they have the experience that should be respected when they make a decision. So when this brother would make a decision counter to the decision that Charlie made, they would look at the leadership and say, well, they got to be right and you wrong. They wouldn't be in that position if they didn't know what they were doing. So now all of the well-wishing and the charm that Charlie was able to exude that made people gravitate towards him, now that's nothing. Now they started to look at him like he's weak. It's blood in the water, y'all. And when you get blood in the water, guess what? Somebody's finna get eaten. That's what piranhas do. See, gangs are like piranhas. We all swimming together at first. Everybody's going in the same direction. We all eating, right? Anything in our path. But don't let one of the piranhas get nicked and start to bleed. Because you know what? Now all of a sudden the piranha's going to do what piranhas do. They're going to turn on you. And they're going to eat you. Yeah, piranhas eat their own. Now, only look it up on the Google or something. You know what I'm saying? Go to National Geographic, wherever you got to go. And you're going to find that they don't have a problem with eating each other. And that's what gangs do. Gangs do not have a problem devouring each other. Because it's looked upon as this is how we get down. And if you're not going to fall in to how we get down, you got to go. So Charlie's nicked. He ain't cut yet, he nicked. He got a Band-Aid on him. So they can't smell the blood, but they see the Band-Aid. You understand? They see the Band-Aid. They see that he doesn't have that favor that he used to have. Now those same people that used to look at him and be like, yeah, man, that's what's up. All this and that, right? Charlie got us. He got us. Now they're starting to look at him like, man, Charlie ain't straight. Charlie weak. He got us out here looking weak. Nah, he got to go. Now, Randy doesn't belong to anything. But when the compound starts to talk, everybody hears it. But Randy is a friend. And he's not leaving his friend stranded on that island. He's not going to do it, y'all. He's not going to do it. So he tells Charlie what he's hearing. It's all over the compound. Say, man, watch yourself. Man, these folks whispering behind your back. But Charlie, being the fighter that he is, he said, nah, I'm straight. I got this. I'm good. I got this. Ain't nothing going to happen to me. This is my family. Randy's telling him, no, that's not your family. Your family's at home. Your family's the one to come visit you. Your family the one to take your phone calls. Your family's the one to put money on your books, help you survive this experience. Now, these are not your family. But he didn't understand that to the fullness that he needed to. He understood that they were not his biological family, but his gang family, he was all in, y'all. He was all in. Until one day, he made a decision. He was overruled. And on top of being overruled, he was told that he had to pay for making a dumb decision again. Now, he's made this same decision in the past. Let me tell you what that decision was, okay? So you'll understand fully what's going on, how petty things get. One day, he had this brother. You feel what I'm saying? Now, they live by rules, too. He had this brother that he had caught doing some things that he didn't have no business, that was bringing embarrassment to the organization. So he told his person that was over security to write him up. Write him up. So they put him in the rack. But here's the thing. Things had been changed at the top. Before you put somebody in the rack, they wanted to know. It was an oversight. You feel me? It was an oversight. But they had done this 1,000 times. But see, this brother at the top that was over Charlie was waiting on any and everything before he could get it. The brother deserved to be put in the rack. It was just that, okay, he didn't push the thing all the way to the top and let them say, go ahead and do it. What? No big deal, man. The outcome would have been the same. But because that brother that's over Charlie said, no, you didn't come to us first, you're going to get the same thing. And the leadership agreed with him. Now, guess what? For the first time during his tenure in that organization, Charlie's got to go in the rack. And it's not good, y'all. It's not good. Now, when he goes in the rack, they put it on him. They've been told to don't spare him. Break him. And when I say break him, they broke him, man. They beat Charlie like he stole something. When he come up out of there, he was different. He had never experienced that type of hatred in his life. Now he started to question, is this my family? Would my family do this? Would my daddy do this? Would my brothers do this? The fights that he had with Randy wasn't even this violent. He had never been in a fight like that, where multiple people were beating him, calling him out of his name, making him feel less than. All in the name of discipline. We can't have somebody not doing what we tell them to do. That's what the leadership said. It don't matter what position you are. Nobody's above the law, they say. And they beat you and they beat you and they beat you to the point to where all the air that you're breathing into your lungs is hot. You don't think you can catch a deep breath. You can't breathe through your nose because your nose is full of blood. Your ears are swelling up. The cauliflower, right? You can't hear. All you got is ringing in your ear. You're on your hands and knees and they step on your hands and almost break your fingers so you can't get up and fight back because they know you got them hands. They're kicking you when they know they shouldn't put their feet on you, knocking you over, and you hear them laughing at you. And then you hear somebody say, that's enough. And then customarily when they stand you up, they would stand you up and say, bro, you all right. But not with Charlie, not this time. They had been told to show him no love. When the violation was over, walk out of the room, leave him. They left him there on his hands and knees, spitting up blood. He gets up and comes out of the room on his own. He looks around and he sees everybody is going on like nothing happened. This is his family, y'all. This is the people that he had come to believe that loved him. And now they were ignoring him when he needed them the most. But he saw a familiar face at the back of the building. It was Randy. Randy wanted to help him, but he knew better. He knew not to get in there. So when he goes to the back of the room, Randy tells him, man, go get in the shower, man, clean yourself up. So he helped him back to the room, and now all of them are looking. They know Randy's his friend from the streets, so they don't say anything. They just look at him and laugh because they know his days are numbered. They know. And Randy knows too, even though he's not a part of it. He knows something ain't right here. Something ain't right. This is too much. This man is hurting. So when Randy takes him into the room, he sits down on the bed and Charlie leans over and he puts his head in his hands and he started to cry. He's lost. He doesn't understand what's going on. He'd never been beaten like that, y'all. Never been beaten like that. And now he was faced with a decision. What do I do? He wanted to do like most people when they go through something like that. He wanted out. But it ain't no easy way out like that. Ain't no easy way out. So now he feels like he's stuck. So Randy comes out of the room. Charlie gets himself together. And he gets up and he comes out and he goes to the shower and he goes back in. And for the next few days, Randy's taking his meal to him. His own brothers wouldn't help him. His days are numbered, y'all. Imagine what that feels like when everybody that you thought was around you, everybody that you thought was about you, everything and everybody around you rejects you and walks away from you. Imagine what Charlie was thinking, what he was feeling. The one person that he started his life with as a teenager, fighting, playing basketball with, was the only person that he could talk to now. He found solace in his friend, Randy. He sought refuge in Randy's company because those same individuals that said that they loved him once upon a time and they respected him had just beaten him. And he knew that they didn't care about him now. He knew it. But I'm going to tell you the rest of this story in the next episode. So you're going to have to come back, y'all. Got to come back. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.